Thank you for joining me today. We're excited to share your unique story as part of our project dedicated to capturing the diverse narrative of the African American community in Washington, D.C. All right.
Speaking casually to somebody, I would just say black because that's like what I normally say. But um, I guess in certain settings, I would say African American.
To
But
me, being a Black woman means that I am a direct descendant of people from Africa that were enslaved and brought to the United States and that have lived in the United States since then.
It's just who I am, depending on the era. There was an era when I was a Negro. There was an era when I was an African American. There's an era now that we're just black. So whatever that entails about people of color, that's what I
it definitely shaped my identity in terms of like how I speak, like the lingo we use. Like it influenced my identity in those ways, my culture.
I got to see firsthand how the government plays a part in racial discrimination. On top of that, the Black Panthers were also here during my growing up. So calling myself being aware, I participated in a lot of things with them. So I got both aspects because I was raised to be very conservative and staunch. As far as who represents us, Eleanor Holmes Norton has done a bang-up job.
I'm very pro statehood. I think we need statehood because at this point, we're really kind of back in the colonial times where we have taxation from the federal government. We pay more taxes per capita than any other state, but we don't have representation on the federal level.
I mean, you can't avoid that. You definitely see it in the city between just like mostly like businesses and stuff like that popping up, and then you see just more white people and stuff like that. And
one story I can tell is my grandfather told me when he was a kid, he would go to Kalorma and go to the aquatic gardens. And at that time, Black people weren't even able to really go to that area. It was considered a white area. And he told me a story of how he was on the streetcar. Back then they had the streetcar and they would just ride the streetcar up and down the area because they weren't able to just get off and, go to the gardens like other people were. And so just hearing his experience growing up in DC as a kid during the civil rights movement and how so many places in DC were segregated at that time and how it's changed to being Chocolate City and being a place, a mecca for Black professionals. And then now we're in the time where there's still a lot of opportunity for Black people in DC, but at the same time, we're kind of reversing the trend where it's getting harder and harder for Black residents to stay in DC because of the prices.
First of all, they need to uphold the laws that have already been passed that address discrimination. All of us stop making like it don't exist. It does exist, and you see it, and there is a problem.
I think it's just to ensure that we have an equal system under the laws to make sure that everything's equal, that everyone has an equal opportunity for education, for healthcare, for jobs, and that there's not discrimination or racism.
I understand that to be a study where they're exposing all the discrimination and what has happened. And they're exposing it so you can correct it, avoid it. Acknowledge it first, and then correct it and avoid it.
So I think that critical race theory is a legal theory that was created specifically for aspiring lawyers, for law students, to analyze laws and make sure that they're taking into account historical racism.
Black women have it the hardest. They are always last to get recognized and get their rights. Like they're the backbone of our culture.
And so I think Black feminism is just a way to make sure that we're including the experiences of Black women as well.
Empathy and love and compassion for one another rather than being so selfish and money driven and power driven, which is right now our natural human instincts. And
we have the same educational and employment opportunities and housing opportunities and banking and finance opportunities and loans. Everything is equal across the board. No matter who you are. Raise a family, own a company, build a business, teach, whatever it is you've prepared yourself to do that you think brings joy in your life and contributes to society.
If we told the story, it'd be completely different. Our history is trying to be erased. So a lot of what we're told is not even the truth. And what is told is like, if it is the truth, they're not telling the whole truth. It's just like 10% of it. So I feel like it would be completely different.
Nothing. Nothing, because it's been told already. And some of the history books and documents and what have you depict it. Art depicts it. Music depicts it. Literature depicts it. So nothing has changed. You just need to acknowledge and accept it.
Acknowledge and accept
and learn from it.
That's right.
We're telling you what happened that shaped us to be who we are.
Yeah.
But it also shaped you to be who you are too.